Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Today is February 22nd, 2024, and I'm trying to do something new. I'm going to put this on YouTube as well as on my Facebook channels so that maybe some of the information that I am trying to share, not only with my students at Guilford Tech, but I can share this with everybody that I love because I love health and fitness and wellness, and I just want to be able to share what I get to do for a living with my friends and family who don't get to take my classes at Guilford Tech. So if you are one of my students in my Fit and Well class, go ahead and hit the timer on your watch because you got to get credit for doing this activity and you have to show me your calories and your time duration. And I want you to pick an activity that is going to help you today. If you want to work out, great. If you want to stretch out, great. If you want to walk your pet, great. If you want to wash some dishes, fine. If you need to go and do something that's going to help you get caught up, that's what I want you to do. And we are talking about where we are at the midterm semester point. And can you believe it? We are almost there. And I think it's important to kind of make sure that we are reassessing where we are, not only with school, but maybe where we are with the goals that maybe we set in January for ourselves. So as we're doing that, we can kind of get off balance a little bit because we think we have this goal that we have to, complete, and it has to look a certain way. And we get so rigid in what we want it to look like that we don't ever leave opportunities open for it to kind of change in a way that's going to be maybe better for us in the long run. And so that's why it's important for us to have good boundaries. That is why it's important for us to have good healthcare practices so that we are giving back to ourselves. And I'll be honest with you folks, I was practicing not what I was preaching, and I ended up hurting my foot. And I think it was because energetically I was just doing too much. I'm working full time, and when I'm doing these classes, I got tired of what it used to look like whenever I was teaching them face to face. Well, I got forced into having to revamp these in 2020. Well, I didn't like what it looked like then. And then I revamped it in 2021 and I didn't like what it looked like then. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to end up trying to create a class to where it can move on its own and I can just be the facilitator. It's okay to kind of tweak things here and there, but creating all new assignments or creating all new workout videos, the workout videos I can do, but when you're having to do all these things for all these classes, it was just a bit much. And so what I have done with one of my sports science classes yesterday is, after listening to some of these questions that I'm about to ask you, I heard these on a podcast that I was listening to, and I think it's important for us not only to think about this in our health and wellness classes that we're taking at Guilford Tech, but these are the type of questions that we need to be asking ourselves, in order to get closer to where it is that we're wanting to be with our January goals or even with our health practices. Giving a shout out to Meg Moonbeam. These are her 4 questions, but I wanted to share them with everybody because I think that I'm a facilitator of sharing information as a teacher. So, this was something that I got benefit out of, and hopefully you will get benefit out of it too. Number 1, these are 4 questions that you need to ask yourself, and you want to put them in order. Okay. And as you're putting them in order of the most important, you need to try to write out exactly what you were doing. Now, this is for my students at Guilford Tech. This doesn't have to be for you, but if you want to write it out, that's fine. Number 1, think about what you can practically take care of right now. Going back to the sport science class that I'm doing, I had to look at, okay, well, right now I do not have enough time available to make a brand new PowerPoint for this class that I'm redesigning. The PowerPoints that I had were 4 years old. And after looking at those, I'm like, these are pretty good for the resources that I had available at the time. Now, no, it doesn't look as good as the stuff that I have done already, but it still was valuable information. So, I curtailed that module a little bit, and then I put some new questions in there that I found from the PowerPoints, and I eliminated parts that I'm like, you know what, that's not really pertinent. So even though it's old information to me, I spruced it up a little bit because it's still new information for my sports science class. So why am I going to beat myself up for doing something that was really good 4 years ago. This is why I like to make things that I know are going to stand the test of time. And that was my first online class that I ever did. And I'm very proud of it. And I was able to have that opportunity to start working with this class and developing it from scratch by doing an internship or a practicum at UNCG. Now, I didn't stay at UNCG for the duration of the doctoral program, but I know I was making the right decision because I quit, or I decided to leave the program during my favorite class. And it wasn't that I was leaving because I thought that I couldn't do it. If I could make it to doctoral, if I can make it through doctoral level statistics with a B and working about 12 hours a week on homework assignments just to earn that 84, then I know that I could have made it through the program. But I'll tell you a valuable question that somebody asked me around that time when I was almost making myself sick. She said, "Why are you doing this?" And when I responded to that, I said, well, not everybody's accepted and not everybody makes it. And if you look at that question and that is your response, then that probably is not a good reason to continue whatever it is that you're doing just to prove a point. I needed to be putting my energies towards something else, obviously. But what I learned about that is that I had gone as high as I needed to go, because in that class, I realized what a good professor was, what a not so good professor was through that whole experience of being there for 2 years. And I'm like, I can actually take this information and put it into being online. And so I had to kind of reevaluate my goals, because guess what? In January of, what was that, 2016, when I was in the program, I was doing way too much, right? I was working full time like I am now. I was working part time like I am now, not to the extent. I was doing a fitness competition and I was back in school. That is ridiculous. That is too much to be putting all at one time. And I wasn't giving back to myself, just like I probably wasn't giving back to myself recently. And this is why my foot hurts. So I've had to think about, okay, what can I practically take care of now? What can I do online that I can't do face to face? I have all this stuff that I've already created. Let me make it look beautiful so that it can be presentable to the next class. So that is what I could practically take care of. And I tell you what, folks, it was a really good feeling to leave yesterday with nothing on my plate. When I walked out the door, I was like, I get to start afresh. I don't have this looming avalanche of all this work just piled up that I didn't get to take care of before. I cannot tell you the last time I went home with nothing on my plate. So it was an awesome experience, because I actually got to go out to eat with my neighbor, which I haven't been able to do in weeks, and we got to hang out. So that was something that I had to practically take care of. Number two, what do you need to organize? Now, maybe your life is really organized already. How can you be of service to somebody else and maybe help them organize? And when you do that, maybe that inspires them to organize something else. If being organized is something that is a goal of yours in January, what are we doing to be organized? I'll be honest with you, folks. I wanted to make sure that I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I could do all these things that I wanted to do. And guess what? I haven't been doing all those things that I wanted to do because I've been hitting the snooze button. So guess what? It's time for me to be revisiting that goal at the midterm. I have been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I took the initiative to realize that number one is awareness. I was hitting the snooze button. Number two is acceptance. Is this a part of my story? Yes, it is. Now I can choose to continue to hit the snooze button, or I can continue to make a different choice. So what I did is I put my phone on the other side of the room to where I had to physically get up and go get the phone. Now, did I bring it back to bed? Yes, I did. But I finally got up, and I only stayed in bed maybe for 30 minutes. I didn't stay in bed for 2 hours hitting the snooze button. I know, folks, I've gotten a bad habit, but it was because I was spreading myself too thin and not giving back to myself. So I've been getting up in the morning. This morning, I got up even earlier. And after I got home after working out, that's why I love Thursdays. I love Thursdays because I teach a class at the gym and I have to be there at 5:45. So I have to be up 4:50, 5 o'clock just to be there on time and to have myself in a happy place. And I feel so energized from those people in the morning that I'm able to take that energy and do so much on Thursdays. So on Thursdays, I end up coming home. I walk my cat, I fix myself some breakfast, and then I come about my day. And I tell you what, if you are not in the habit of getting up in the morning, whatever it is, walking your pet outside, don't just throw the pet outside because we're lazy and it's cold or it's raining. Your cat or your dog, I walk my cat, picks up electrons throughout the day, just like you do, from the EMF frequencies that are coming off of our computers and our cell phones and our microwaves and the television. You're picking up these frequencies. You're also picking up frequencies from other people. That's why it's important to take a shower before you go to bed. Just let all that bad energy just go down the drain. And this is why it's important to be walking in the morning with your pet, walking in the afternoon with your pet, not just throwing it outside. You go spend time with your pet outside in nature. There are so many people that, their pets, they don't get to go outside much because maybe they, live in a big city, or maybe it's a cat and the person doesn't go outside much. So make sure that you're spending time outside in nature. We are natural beings. We're not um, AI beings. So we need to get away from those frequencies that artificial intelligence is giving us. Go spend some time out in nature with the sunshine. If you want to, it's getting a little pretty outside. Take your shoes off, put your feet in the dirt. It does help. I promise you. Get a stick, hold the stick, get some rocks, rub the rocks in your hand. You will be amazed at how much better that you feel. So, what is something that you need to organize? That was something that I needed to organize in myself, is by getting up early in the morning so I can get more organized. And I got myself what did we get? A new calendar. Got myself a new calendar right here because I had an old one and I didn't use it much last year. And then I wondered why I was so stressed out all the time. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a calendar. I'm going to write down everything that I need to do every single day. All right. Number 3, am I in balance? Well, number 2 and number 3 were kind of overlapping for me. So when I think about myself not being in balance, I was given way too much to so many things. Right now, folks, I'm working full time, recreating all these classes, and it's because I want it to be something that I'm proud of. Luckily, I get to do what I love every day. I could not imagine sitting in a cubicle with no windows, no freedom, and I had to be there at my desk at 9 o'clock and I could not leave until 5. That would be absolute torture. I've had a job like that before. And I'll be honest, after 3 months, I ended up getting a part-time job in the fitness industry again because I missed it. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then, I was sitting on my butt for about a year. So, universe, God, whoever pushed me out of that situation and got me into a better job, making more money, doing what I love, what I went to school for. So, I was definitely off balance then. But, I kind of got off balance again because, like I said, I'm working full time, I'm working part time, doing all this content creation on my channels. That's a full time job in itself. And not to mention, I'm in school to pick up some new skills so that I can maybe be somebody else in the future, or so that I can use this information to kind of expand what I'm doing online right now with my classes and also with my own personal health, right? So I got a lot going on, and I know that in order for me to be balanced, I need to take a step back from certain things. So if you need to take a step back from certain things, what are you going to do to get yourself back into balance while we're listening to this podcast? Are you washing clothes? Are you cleaning your house? Are you washing your car? Are you walking your pet? What are you doing? Show me in the Fit and Well class, all right, with your calories and time duration, what you're doing with this activity. And as you guys remember, one of the things that my mom did to burn the most calories when she was doing a project for me in my master's program was clean her house. I had one of those Fitbit things on her body. Well, it was called a body bug at the time. We didn't have Fitbits at the time. And anyway, you can burn a lot of calories in that. Just get up and move. Don't sit around. If you're not feeling good right now, there's a lot of people right now, which leads me into number 4, which is, are you experiencing health challenge? That could be number 1 for you. If you're experiencing a health challenge, how in the world can you have balance? Because you don't feel good to even go do the things that you want to do. And sometimes we don't even feel good to take care of ourselves. We just want to lay around. And number 2, we're not going to have the energy to organize anything because we don't feel good. And number 1, we're not going to be able to say, what can I practically take care of? Because our mind probably is just focused on how bad we feel, right? And we're not using our energy in a good way. So if you're having a health challenge, try to think about those things as you're going throughout your day. What are you doing and how are you treating yourself in order to feel the way that you do, whether it's good or whether it's not so good? So if you're having chronic headaches right now, do you maybe need to go to the doctor to get your eyes looked at? Are you straining and you don't realize it? Or maybe your eyes hurt because you're looking at the screen too much. You're looking at the computer screen. You're looking at your phone screen. You're looking at your TV screen. Your eyes are not meant to look at artificial light like this. You probably are creating a poor health habit for your eyes by not going outside and giving them natural sunlight. Okay. Maybe you're having a health challenge as far as maybe not being able to sleep. Well, what do your habits look like before you go to bed? Are we on the phone scrolling TikTok? Are we watching television? Are we watching something that makes us kind of scared and fearful? Well, no wonder we're not going to go to bed. I mean, if you're watching something scary on the news and you're thinking about, oh, this is going on and this is going on, instead of taking a minute to yourself at night before you go to bed, thinking about, what do I have to be grateful for? You have to be grateful for, guess what? I get to lay in a bed. Do you know how many people don't get to lay in a bed at night in their own home? There's quite a few, and there's some in our country too. I mean, look at the homeless rates. They are steadily increasing. You have a lot of people that are coming into this country, leaving bad situations. I'm sure that they would love to put their head down at night on a nice warm bed. If you have food in your refrigerator, that's something else to be grateful for. If you have a job that you love, that's something to be grateful for. If you have a partner that lights you up and that's your boo, that's your number one, that's your ride or die, that's your rock, then that's something to be grateful for. What are we putting our energies toward to go to bed? If we're watching something scary on the news, that's no different than watching a scary movie before we go to bed. How many of us, when we were younger, all right, maybe watch something that, our parents told us not to do, and we're going to be like, hey, I'm going to watch that anyway when they're not around. And then we get scared and we realize real quick why they didn't want us to watch that. And then we have nightmares. I remember when I was in the 4th grade, I had a teacher that she had all the kids to her house, right? And she was just trying to be fun and do what, something outside of school that was fun, and had a pizza party and movie. Well, all the children wanted to watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, Miss Smith had nightmares for I don't know how long, thinking about Freddy Krueger coming through my window. So that was not something that I needed to be watching right before bed. It's the same thing with the news. Try to watch something happy before you go to bed. Whether it's cat videos, dog videos, maybe it makes you happy to watch some type of motivational person that's telling you how you can organize your life a little bit better to get some of the clutter out. Or maybe it's somebody that's motivating you on how you can make more money doing whatever it is that you are gifted in order to do. Watch something that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel inspired, that makes you feel grateful right before you go to bed. And then maybe you might be able to have a good night's sleep. Maybe you have another health challenge. Maybe you have anxiety. Where's that anxiety coming from? What are you doing to let the anxiety go? This is why I'm such a proponent of people going outside and getting away from some of these frequencies that they're picking up. They don't realize that they're picking up anxiety because of the environments that they are putting themselves in. That was the number one module that we started with, was what our environment looked like. If your environment is all cluttery and you've got a lot of things that you have to go through, how in the world is your mind ever going to not feel chaotic and to move forward out of that situation? So look around. Where are we in our goals that we made in January? Have we kind of regressed a little bit? It's okay. It's okay if you regress a little bit, because guess what? The first step is awareness. If you've realized it and you're like, you know what, I really didn't want to do that in the first place, then it's time to make a new goal. Or are you in a place where I really wanted to do this thing, but this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And then we're making all kinds of excuses about why we didn't get these things. So you can either be a part of the solution or you can be a part of the excuses. So a solution, like I said, that I had yesterday, it was like this big ha-ha moment. I'm like, These sports science students don't know that this is old material and it still looks new, and the information is still current. So why am I going to try to recreate something and put that stress on myself? Let me do that when I have a little bit more off time this summer, because I didn't have time to do it last semester because I had too many other things on my plate. It's really important to make sure that you are practicing self-care. But how are we doing that? In those 4 questions, put them in order of importance. Number 1, what do I need to do right now to practically take care of what I need to? If you got children at home, if you got pets at home, that's something you practically have to take care of, but you also have to practically take care of your own needs and not spreading yourself out too thin to where everything is just half stepped and you're not doing the best effort that you can. Number 2, making sure that we are trying to get organized. Maybe that is something that you are struggling with. Maybe some people are still trying to get organized from January because they never even made a goal. Number 3, am I off balance? Are you not giving back to yourself because you're focusing too much on schoolwork, or you're focusing too much on work, or you're focusing too much on family members that, are draining your energy? Not that that's draining and we can't be there for people, but there is no reason that you need to overdo and do for people, because, you're a person too, and you need to make sure that you put yourself in a good health standing so that when your cup is full, you can give out water to other people. And then the last one is any health challenges. So if you are in my classes, you're going to have to show me what you did for your activity today. So I want to see a before picture of what you needed to do, whatever task. All right. Now, if you wash dishes, I need to see the picture of the after dishes. If you wash clothes, I need to see the start of the clothes that need to be washed, and then I need to see the pile of them folded up. If you wash your car, dirty car, clean car, show me before and after picture. I don't care what it is. It could be planting things. Or if you're walking a pet, you can do that. Show me a picture of you walking your pet and how many calories you burn, the time duration, and the mileage. If you want to put that in there, that's fine. If you're in my health class and you chose to walk your pet, you don't have to do that because the Fitbit is not a requirement for the health class, but this is a requirement for the Fit and Well class. And then after that, you have to put in order those 4 things that I mentioned, those questions written out. All right. And then you have to put in order what you are doing in those areas, because these all align with our goals that we started with at the very beginning of the semester when we were talking about environmental wellness and we did our vision boards. This is just a midterm check-in. How are we doing on the vision board? How are we doing on the vision statue? Are you getting closer to that, or are we regressing? And I had to look at mine and to see if I was actually doing what it is that I said I was going to do. I do have it written down. Hold on one second. My favorite color is purple. I have another purple book. And I wrote it down because I wanted to see, am I doing all the things that I said that I was going to do? Yes, here we go. I turned right to it. I just didn't realize it because at the top it told me to make a workout stretching video. So I have the workout stretching video here with all the things that I was going to talk about, but I think I'm going to talk about them now. All right. So the first one that I had on my vision statue was peace in nature. And I'm like, yes, guess what I did? I took those bulbs out of the pot, and I've been walking Jinko. So I am excited to see those bulbs looking real pretty this summer. And something that I'm going to be doing more often is to get up early and walk my cat. So that is a never ending thing that I'm doing. And then the next one that I had on my vision statue was give and ask for help. Yes, I am doing that because I helped someone and I told them that my love language was acts of service. So guess what this person did? They swept my baseboards, which was a huge help. They helped me clean my house. And, I've also been asking for help, like, oh my God, how can I get all this stuff done? So I'm asking divine intervention to come into my life and say, please give me the wisdom that I need to get all these things done. So I am asking for help. And it's all, and when we ask for help, then we get a little bit of help, and that frees us up to go and help somebody else. And so I've been helping my mom at our monthly hot dog luncheons. If you want to go to Moriah Methodist Church on Liberty Road, the second Sunday of the month from 11 to 2, they have hot dog luncheons and homemade chili, homemade slaw, and they even fry up the hot dogs. People tell me they're even better than cookout. I give hot dogs to my nail tech, and she says they're better than cookout. Well, obviously they are, because they're free, because I pay for them. She gets that as her tip. Let's see. Number 3, saying no. Yes, I'm going to, what does it say? I'm saying no to giving out, spending money on food. Yes. I can't read my writing, folks. I haven't been spending as much money going out. I have been cooking at home, and I feel so much better when I do that. And I have also been able to pay off one credit card. That credit card was zero in March of 2020. Well, I lost my personal training business and I ran for political office. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that extra money coming in, and my savings account burned up. And then I had to use the credit card. Thank goodness I had the credit card to fall back on. But now it's time to pay it back and live below my means in order to do that. And guess what? In 7 days, I'm going to have the other one paid off, and I'm going to keep putting that money as if I was paying off the credit card into some type of savings account, because I'm already in that mindset of I feel better at home, not eating out so much. My wallet feels better, and I got goals to spend that money on, and it's not going to be going towards going out to eat. So I'm doing no to that, and doing good on that for saying no to temptation. The other one is I have the time. And I told myself I do have the time to do all these things that I want to do. It's not going to be easy, but maybe if I ask for help, I can get some help along the way. And I don't feel like I have to do everything myself. And, looking back at some of these things that I created 4 years ago, if they were great then, they're great now, I can use them again. Another one is protecting my energy. I'm definitely doing that when I go out. I just try to make sure I say a little prayer before I go out, and I just try to protect my energy. And I know that there's going to be a lot of negativity coming at me throughout the day versus, whether it's a student that needs help and I feel like I need to help them, or I want to help them, or maybe I have some emails that have come down the line of something that I have forgotten about with administration. So, protecting my energy, meaning taking a big breath, exhale, know that some of these things that are coming at you may not be things that you need to worry about. And we don't always have to take care of all these things. And taking a big breath and trying to see where we are in that moment and how we can best serve that person or serve that situation without having weak boundaries. And we end up taking the brunt of something when we were trying to do something nice for somebody. We overextended ourselves and we couldn't give back to ourselves, which causes us to be imbalanced. And then the last one was make a wish. Well, I don't know if that is going to come true yet or not, but I have written my wishes every Sunday. And anytime that I see number 1111, which is the time that they say that you need to be making a wish, all right, I really try to think about what am I doing in that moment? Am I thinking positive thoughts? Am I thinking negative thoughts? So anytime you see 1111, think to yourself like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking about? Is it I can't do this because I've got so much on my plate? Or are you going to take a big breath and say, I can do this. This stuff would not be coming at me if I could not handle it. And just talk to God, talk to your higher self, talk to the universe, whoever you talk to, and just say, how best can I go forward? What steps do I need to take so that I can get out of this situation and I can start feeling good? I can start having energy. I can work on that health matter that I want to. I can understand how best to navigate the energies at this time so I can practically take care of what I need to. I can be more less chaotic in my mind and being able to be more organized and knowing what step that I need to take forward. And I'm also not throwing myself off balance because I'm able to give to myself as well to give to others. And I'm looking at any health concerns that I have right now in my life. If that's a priority for you, focus on that. And then you can focus on those other 3 things that I just mentioned. All right. If you got something out of this video, make sure that you like it. And if you are a student of mine, I would like for you to do me a favor. If you want extra credit, then leave me a comment below this video and tell me what you did while you listened to this podcast, and which of the 4 areas that I mentioned is something that you need to be proactively working on as we reassess where our vision board or our vision statue that we made a few weeks ago, how does that lining up right now? And are we needing to eliminate some of those things that we thought we wanted to do and maybe put some new things there? Or do we just need a little bit motivation to get back on the bus so that we can be where we want to be with our goals? My name is Chrissy Smith. This is 9 Lives Energy, and together we energize your body from the inside out. Make sure that you share this so that every time you do, somebody gets healthier. Bye-bye.